Welcome to our living room and functional human design. I am Jess.
And I'm Reid. Why do I do it like that?
I don't know. We're kind of awkward because
We're quirky,
we're very, very quirky.
and that causes us to see things from many different angles.
When I first heard about human design, it was like there's these two important things, and it was like how you live life. And for me as a manifesting generator, it's that I am to respond to life. And I was like, okay, what do I respond to? I respond to everything all the time. I have 5 kids. It's all I do is respond. And as a manifester,
I am to inform and to initiate.
wait, according to them, it's just inform.
According to them.
Right.
But it's actually a whole lot deeper than that. And it's actually a whole lot more simple than that.
And that's really it. Was as I played with my responding and I watched my family play with their different strategies, and I just had to go deeper and deeper into just really understanding what raw was meaning and what are these types really. And when I look at it, I hear, like, when I look at what is visible, like what is taught on the internet, it's all about following your strategy, follow your strategy. But we never really understand why. And for me, it's so important to understand why I need to follow my strategy, probably because my head's lit up like a damn Christmas tree. But I wanted to understand why. And when I got down to it, into some of the really deeper teachings, it's about aura type. And our aura is really just our vibe. It's how people perceive us.
Yeah.
And when you understand that these different aura types, like, we're perceived differently based on our vibe, how we feel, then I was like, I can see how we work like together as a team.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this one day that I had this huge epiphany that it was like, we are like the Incredibles. That if you take the 5 main characters of the Incredibles, that you can actually really clearly see the aura types in action, both out of alignment and in alignment. But I think one of the things that, like, human design really showed me is how truly inadequate I am as a person. And that sounds horrible, but it's actually wonderful, because we are not meant to be an island. We're not meant to be alone in just who we are. We're meant to work together. We're meant to complement each other. I've now done hundreds of readings and designs, and I have never met anyone that is fully complete just in and of themselves.
Yeah.
I'm talking a lot. Do you want to jump in?
Oh, I was just so excited to get into the Incredibles because I can relate to it so much. We can relate to it so much as a family. And when we discovered that these aura types are actually something that's been studied, but without it being related to human design and the functionality of human design, it really excited me. So I'm really excited to jump in and look at the aura types and how they interact and the importance.
I think that there are things that are just universal knowledge that when we get onto a certain vibration, we can just like reach out and grab this knowledge. Otherwise, we wouldn't have these 5 characters that exhibit so well their aura types.
Yeah.
So let's just match them up real quick. We have Mr. Incredible, who is a generator.
Yeah.
So like a classic generator. So he does not have any motor to the throat.
And he makes up what percentage of the population?
About 33% of the population.
Okay.
Generators in total, both the manifesting generators and generators, our auras are very similar. So Dash would be the manifesting generator. So Mr. Incredible and Dash make up about 70% of the population. But if you look at Mr. Incredible, he's definitely the worker. He's like the brute force. He gets the things done. He makes it happen.
Yeah.
But Dash has also those attributes, but he is lightning fast. And that's how I've felt. But both are very magnetic.
So fast and so magnetic. But one being so much faster and so magnetic and so like I can't believe it. Like, and it being like an attraction. You want to watch Dash go.
When everybody talks about being magnetic until you really are truly like charismatic and magnetic, and it is not near as fun as it sounds, because my milkshake brings all the people to the yard. And that was why I've experienced so much abuse in my life starting at a very young age, was because my charisma just drew everyone to me. And Reid having an aura like Violet, where she can be invisible.
The manifestor
Bubble.
Yes.
The manifestor bubble is truly the safest place in the world to be as a manifesting generator, because it's like there's that safe space that I have never felt. But as a manifester, and we have a daughter who's a manifester, struggling with things like invisibility.
That's, in any amount of insecurity, we become invisible. And there's many different areas to be insecure with, but it's like as soon as we realize our invisibility and how it affects everyone, we're suddenly able to see the power of our aura. We're able to see that bubble.
And that's, to me, what makes the movie so profound, is that each one of them are going from out of alignment to alignment.
Yeah.
And that's what makes human design unique to me compared to something like astrology, is that even the worst people on the planet, in history, they have charts. And then some of the most profound people on the planet in history also have charts. Human design gives us that spectrum of free will, that we can't change who we are. We can't change our personality. We can't change those core attributes, but they can show up in both a shadow and a gift. And our free will is the choices that we make within that, which is why I say make better choices.
Yep. So like 70, I think you've said 70% is
generator types. So, and that's split even between generators and manifesting generators. So it's about 35% each, give or take, and there's more people being born every day. The similarity between manifesting generators and manifestors is that both have a motor to the throat. It can be any of the four motors, that's the ones in orange here, any of those four motors connected to the throat. But manifestors do not have a sacral, and manifesting generators have the sacral defined. Everybody has all of them. It's just whether or not they're defined. There's a different type of speed that goes with manifesting generators and manifestors, because it's like you're mainlining energy straight out your throat, because all roads are leading to your throat.
We have this pressure to get things done already. Like why isn't it done already?
Right.
Why am I not there already?
Which is why slowing down is probably the most difficult thing I've ever done, and the most rewarding thing I've ever done.
Yep.
And there's nothing like having two projector sons, like Elasti-Woman is what I want to call her, because she is fully a woman and she is full of wisdom. Her ability to assess situations without having to experience everything, and then have the wisdom in the moment in order to make the team function more cohesively. I'm always reminded of that line, "Throw me, Bob, throw me."
Yeah. Or when they all fall in the ocean and she says, everyone, I don't think she says shut up, maybe she does. Everyone shut your mouth and listen to me. It's like this projected energy. It's like, I've got the wisdom now, no matter how much power you think you have and how much fun you think you're having by almost dying. We're going to come together right now, and I've got the wisdom, and this is what we're doing moving forward. It doesn't matter how extreme the situation is. Projectors show up with wisdom. It's like, no matter how traumatic it is, it's like hostage negotiator to an extreme, you know.
they know, because they've absorbed so much energy and have observed when they're in alignment, they absorb, and then their energy is kind of pokey. And that's why their strategy is wait for the invitation, because not everybody wants that kind of wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody is ready to make the changes.
Sometimes we got to make mistakes before we actually want their help, which is something
Right.
that projectors in our house have expressed and have so much grace with us.
Speak for yourself on that, because I learned this about 4 years ago.
Well, I'm still learning it, so.
That the kids have been, our children have been my guide
Mm,
to understanding what is healthy,
mm-hmm.
because there's something about Gen Z where they just take no shit,
Yeah.
and they were calling things out long before I could see them, but they weren't really calling them out. They were just like, this isn't right.
Mm-hmm.
And so on my journey of really being at war with you and saying, hey, you need to treat me with respect and kindness, they would say something to me, and I had to learn how to really listen to them
Mm-hmm.
in a way that I hadn't before, where I listened to the depth of their wisdom and was like, okay, you're right. I can see that there's something not right. There's something off kilter here. I'm going to go do some research and figure that out. And so I think we really just need to listen to children more, like, and give them full humanhood,
Mm-hmm.
because they have immense wisdom. And even throughout the process of building functional human design, I would pull them together and be like, hey, these are my thoughts. Give me feedback. It doesn't matter if they're teenagers. I actually admire them more because they're less conditioned. Because that
Yeah.
was one of my big points in raising kids, was I knew how messed up I was.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to teach them objectively so
Mm-hmm.
they could make better choices. And because of that, they've been my greatest teacher, my
Mm-hmm.
greatest coaches. Like, they've guided me through so many things, and I'm very careful to not put things on them,
Mm-hmm.
but their wisdom is profound. And as I've invited them into my life over the last 4.5, 5 years, to like, hey, give me your wisdom. What do you see that I don't see? Man, are they honest. And it's so beautiful. It's allowed my growth to just expand exponentially.
Yeah. Wow. Seeing that teenagers are human beings just like other human beings, and they are more fresh in their understanding of what's possible, it means that when we do slow down and treat them, not objectify them, not like the way we've gone about treating our teenagers. I've been late to the game because I didn't realize that my patriarchal standards of having to know my kids,
Right.
having to just have the answers already, was getting in the way of actually learning from them and being able to see them.
Right.
And I think that's the biggest disfavor we can do to ourselves, is to not see projectors, but specifically younger people who want to share their wisdom with us. Not that we have to rely on their wisdom or that we
Right.
need to do that,
Can
but
can we, my spidey senses are going off
yeah,
like crazy with this,
yeah,
because our journey is really important. Like,
mm-hmm,
I had this moment when our oldest, who's now 24, she was about 6 years old. And I felt so inadequate as a human and as a parent that I was like, I, I, I sat on the floor and I was just like, you have to teach me how to know you. Like, I need to know you. I don't know what's right for you. You need to show me what's right for you.
yeah,
And I had that switch early in parenting, but you didn't have that switch
mm,
as much. And it's because neither of us really knew how to see the deep undercurrents of misogyny and the objectification that happens when you have those umbrella systems, the Christ, and then husband,
mm-hmm.
and then wife, and then the kids.
The overseeing on
Right.
top.
And so in a lot of ways, you put all of your attention and focus on me
Mm-hmm.
and missed the kids.
Yeah.
and they were really objectified in that dynamic.
Yeah.
And it's been this year that you're coming back and you're like really seeing them for the fullness of who they are.
Yeah.
And that to me is so commendable, because most men have not been willing to take that journey. And I have to say, you weren't willing to take that journey.
I went really far to really stop and then examine my ways of being with my kids.
And that's been the place. To me, this is the beautiful journey of where we're at now, is that as that objectification of people, of specifically women and children, has been rolling away, it has allowed you to start rebuilding relationships that help us achieve our initial goal of breaking generational cycles.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Where are we now? Aura types. Oh, yes.
Are you okay with all that?
No, that was absolutely awesome.
Okay.
I'm just thinking of how this is being edited.
It's okay. Just let it out.
I'm excited to know my kids more than I ever have, because I couldn't see them with a filter of control. I was controlling my perspective on who they were, right, and I was controlling myself and the person that I could be to even understand them. And it's incredible to be able to see them as they are, not as I thought they were. Like, the problem with control, I think the problem with the beauty of understanding aura types is that you can let go of control when you finally realize your relationship to other people outside of perceived control. These understandings that were really not understandings. They were just illusions the entire time. So it's really great to be able to learn from my kids. I mean, how can you not learn from people who are full of expression, who actually have insight into your life? The only way I couldn't learn is that I was too stubborn in myself to see that they carried value. And that's where the objectification is. And that's why I think auras are so important. To understand our energy type is so important, because it opens up an entirely new world. And yeah,
that's good. Because none of us are perfect.
No.
And we're also not disposable. Humans, we're worthy of loving ourselves. We're worthy of having our needs and desires met. And we don't ever have to take anything that feels uncomfortable. And like, to me, that is just so important, because so many of us settle. And I remember about 5-6 years ago really weighing it out. It's like, he never hits me, doesn't yell at me. Like, why can't I just be satisfied? And it's because I knew that there was so much more to life. I just couldn't quite put my finger on these deep subtleties. And it really has been a combination of 25 years of understanding trauma and then understanding human design. Putting all those things together has meant that our family has been healing together and growing together. And that is profound, but it would not happen without understanding, oh, the manifestors, their aura's like this, and so we need to make sure that we see them, that we acknowledge them. Oh, generators, we have all this energy, and that must be expressed in order for us to feel right. Projectors, like we have one projector with no motors, and then we have another projector with 2 motors. And they function entirely different. We can't just say all projectors are a certain way, but their aura is the same.
Mhm.
We're all very different, and it's the details of the chart that make us unique. It's just when we're looking at type and strategy, our auras are so important because that's how we're perceived. That's how we interact with people. That brings us to Jack Jack,
Yep.
who is the 1%, the reflector. And when I saw that, my mind just went, there's even a reflector here, because the 1%, the reflector, absorbs everything. That's why Jack Jack has all the superpowers, but
They
yet
absorb and reflect everything.
everything. And it gives me goosebumps because they are so
It's
profound.
exciting because they're like the personification of Homo sapiens,
Of everything
themselves.
around them,
Yeah.
and they reflect it back. So when you watch, I cannot wait to watch the movies again, because I don't think I've seen The Incredibles in like 8 or 10 years.
Yeah.
We're going to be watching The Incredibles. We're having movie nights within our school community, and we're going to be talking and watching all different movies that have helped us experience growth, that have taught us lessons. And I think The Incredibles is one of the first ones up, because you can actually see their evolution
Mhm.
from being in their shadows and being out of alignment into alignment, and then into working together as a team,
Mhm.
because none of our auras are complete, like fully adequate in and of themselves. We need each other. We
Yeah.
need community. We need our tribe. We need our families. We need the people around us. So how can we help the people who are willing to make the changes step into their power?
This is so exciting because the discussions that come from this conversation are going to open us up to a whole new world of possibilities, because the more people engaged in this type of conversation, the more possibility there is.
And the more we can experiment with it, because when you can look at something without ego and like it needing to be the expert of anything,
Mhm.
we can just devour like information. Like, what is your experience with your aura? How have they shifted and functioned? Like, how can you play with it? Because our auras really are our superpowers. It's what makes me so magnetic, and that is both a gift and a curse,
Mhm.
depending on the other people I'm around.
Yeah.
And I think it's true for all of us in our uniqueness.
Yeah. It's exciting to see how we can step into our power when we understand our aura type and our energetic system, that you've covered in other videos, and see how we're able to meet each other's needs while being in our power. Like
Right.
in this society, we've learned how to separate ourselves out, and I think that's what makes this so importantly different. Is importantly a word? Doesn't matter.
It is now.
It is now. It's that there's functional human design is that we're putting it into practice in community, and I think that's what is so powerful, and that I'm really excited about watching Incredibles together.
Yep. So come on, join us.